In 2008, California rock band Weezer released their third self-titled album, The Red Album. Track 3 of that record is a nostalgic journey down a music-filled memory lane of the upbringing and formative years of frontman Rivers Cuomo in a ballad called Heart Songs. The lyrics culminate in his own experience of turning all of the musical influences of his life into his own opportunity to write, record, and perform music that went on to impact and inspire others. This podcast, similarly, traces the impact of music as it has highlighted and even inspired the life experiences of its guests. My name is Adam Blaylock. Welcome to Heart Songs, the podcast. This week on Heart Songs, the podcast, we have a British alternative rocker whose band's first single reached number 3 on the UK charts before claiming the coveted number 1 spot on the US Billboard Hot 100. It is our pleasure to present, and please enjoy, Ian Dench of EMF.
Gordon Lightfoot sang a song about a boat that sank in the lake at the break of the morning. A cat named Steve.
Hi, I'm Ian from EMF. Thank you so much for inviting me on the Heart Songs podcast. Adam, I really appreciate it, and it's great that you sent me these wonderful questions. Talking about a song that influenced me in my childhood. Well, it's not really a song. It is some classical music. I mean, when I was about 7, my school played a record by Defia, Nights in the Gardens of Spain. And I don't know, there's something about it just spoke to me. I mean, it might have been the fact that my dad played the classical guitar, and so there was a lot of Spanish music there. And this becomes relevant later, as you'll see. But yeah, I just loved that Spanish music and the way those harmonies worked and the sort of darkness and beauty of it, and you felt the sort of heat of Spain, and which was so different to rainy England, and I loved it.
These are the songs I keep singing. Quiet Riot got me started with the banging of my head. Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and Slayer's all.
A song I discovered when I figured out what genre of music I like would be No More Heroes by the Stranglers.
Sancho Panza. Whatever happened to the heroes? Whatever happened to the heroes? Whatever happened to all the heroes? All the Shakespeare.
That punk rock spoke to me. I heard the Sex Pistols and I loved that, and then could just immerse myself in all those bands: The Clash, The Damned, The Stranglers, the Buzzcocks, just all that amazing music coming out in the late 70s, and that just caught me, and I think I've got a little bit of that punk attitude in my playing still, and from those moments, because it just went into my heart, and it's still there.
These are the songs I keep singing. Back in 1991, I wasn't having any fun till my roommate said, "Come on and put a brand new record on." Had a baby.
Third song, a song that attached to a moment in my life when I figured out who I decided I want to be. Well, it's difficult to say one song because the way that EMF came together was this sort of combination of some of those amazing guitar bands from England in the sort of late 80s, like Echo and the Bunnymen and the Smiths, with some of the sort of hip-hop music that was coming from the States, like the Public Enemy and De La Soul. And I also loved the sort of English interpretation of that, soul to soul, and just the way they used groove and attitude. But my heart was in guitars, so those guitar bands like the Smiths and Echo and the Bunnymen and the Cure were just in my heart. So EMF became a combination of all of those things that, and that's when I knew what I wanted to be. So if I had to quote a song, well, can I quote two songs? Let's have Echo and the Bunnymen, The Back of Love.
To bring the back of love. When you say it's love, to mean the back of love. When taking advantage of, breaking the back of love. When taking advantage of, breaking the back of love. Easier said than done.
And Public Enemy, Rebel Without a Cause.
From a rebel, it's final. A black final soul. Rock and roll coming like a rhino. Tables turn, suckers burn to learn. They can't disable the power of my label. Def Jam tells you who I am. The enemy's public. They really give a damn. Strong Island, where I got a wildin'. That's the reason they claiming that I'm violent. Never silent. No dope, getting dumb, no.
My heart song, my most meaningful creative contribution. Well, it has to be unbelievable, doesn't it?
These times I spent, I've realized to shoot through and leave you the things you say. Your pathos just give you away. The things you say, you're unbelievable.
And it is that mixture between the sort of English indie guitar thing and the hip-hop grooves. To dissect the guitar thing a little bit, the guitar riff is really a combination of those things that I'd absorbed as a young person. I've spoken about some guitar bands like the Smiths and Echo and the Bunnymen, but I also adored the Doors and the sort of bluesness. I know the Doors had been an influence on Echo and the Bunnymen, and the way they used blues was a really interesting thing. So you get that. So you hear that. That's a bit on the way up. And then it's got a little bit of punk attitude. On the way up, but on the way down, it's got some Spanishness in it. Now, my father played the classical guitar, and we always had like Spanish music in our house because there was so much Granados and Albéniz and these great Spanish composers in the classical guitar, and so you get this sort of. And then put all that together and you get... there you have it. Unbelievable is my heart song. And I will never tire of playing it because the reaction it gets is one of so much joy. People love hearing it, and the place always goes crazy when we play it. And people still all the time just send me messages. Oh, I heard it. My friend was on Emirates yesterday flying somewhere and it came up on the playlist and he sent me a picture and I don't know what, there's a gift that keeps giving, right? I mean, it just, people continue to love it and play it. And I am incredibly thankful for that and proud. I need to mention EMF's latest album, The Beauty and the Chaos. We are still mixing up all those great guitar riffs with grooves and electronic dance music and like just taking all those things we love from wherever we love them. And I feel incredibly proud of our latest album. I think it's one of our best works, and you definitely need to go check it out. EMF, The Beauty and the Chaos. It's available on Spotify and all other major streaming sources.
This is the song. These are my heart songs.
Thank you for joining us for Heart Songs, the podcast. If you'd like to be considered to be a guest in a future episode, please email the podcast at heartsongsthepodcast@gmail.com. See you next time.